state of Georgia spends $20 billion of your money a year. Hold on to your wallets, folks, because session starts on Monday. That means everybody will be under the gold dome, ready to spend all your hard-earned money. And 58% of that goes to education. Yet Georgia, we're not ranked last. I think we can thank Mississippi for bringing up the rear, but we spend a lot more money per capita on education, and we have worse outcomes than a lot of neighboring states that don't. So my question for the candidates is, what are we doing wrong? We're spending nearly $12 billion a year on education, plus getting federal grants. What are we doing wrong, and what is the first thing, if you're elected superintendent, you will do to turn the ship around? And we'll go ahead and start with Mary to answer that, and then we'll just go down. And then the next question we'll have Kira start off.
The first thing I would do is...
Talk to the group.
Oh,
sorry.
The standards are too low. And I went to all the House and Senate Education Subcommittee listening sessions except for 2. And I heard all kinds of things from superintendents, from school board members, and from the public. We have school districts that only have 160 days, and on top of that, 22 days are for testing. And they say, well, you know, test scores haven't gone down. And it makes you wonder, why is that test scores haven't gone down? It's because the test is different. It's on different standards. No matter what we do, no matter how much money we give or allocate for education, if we have low standards, we're never going to compete.
So you're basically saying you're going to enhance the standards. That would be your first step.
First step.
Okay, great. Nancy?
Well, money drives results, and we have plenty of money, and we can't, I'm going to stand up.
Okay.
We can't thank Mississippi, like you said, unfortunately, because they have a higher graduation rate and spend less per pupil together. So we can't thank them. But what we can do is institute financial integrity, and that's the model that is driving results in the states that are doing that. I'm not going to talk in platitudes. I'm not a single issue candidate. I don't support Common Core. I've written about it. That in the Marietta Daily Journal. You can read my article there. And I'm, you know, yeah, it's all of our children, it's community, etc. But that's not going to drive results. Platitudes won't get you there. Financial integrity and disclosure begins the journey to get there. Tennessee got serious about it in around 2010. And that's what we have to do in Georgia. We have to push the money to the classroom. We can't keep giving waivers to allow class size to go to infinity, essentially. We have to demand that our administrative costs be lowered. We can't let budgets be deceptive. In Texas, for instance, I'll leave you with this, and I'll let my fellow candidates address this. But in Texas, one of the financial integrity measurements they have every single month, they have to submit a report to the state of budget versus actual, okay? And that goes in. And then at the end of the year, they have to submit their yearly report. If there's more than a 3% variance, you get a report about it. You don't get your points for your financial integrity measurement, okay? This is important. Why? Because budgets are at best a weak suggestion of how to spend money in DeKalb, and certainly deceptive at worst. And that's not unique to DeKalb, okay? That's going on all over, and no one is holding them accountable because we don't have an owner's advocate as the state school superintendent, and that's what I am. I represent kids and taxpayers and what's in their best interest, driving the money to where it gets the best results. Thank you very much.
Fitz? Talking about budget, first thing you would do day one, superintendent, to improve the outcomes here.
Well, that's a large task when we talk about how we're going to spend our money. Now, we all know that the QBE formula needs to be modernized. I think that's one of the first things you see us tackle, and I mentioned it a little earlier. We say we're going to tackle the QBE. It sounds easy enough by going and getting some folks in the room, but it is a very large, complex, and difficult task to do. So we have to make sure that everybody's on board at the legislature's side. We have to make sure the governor's office is on board, our Board of Education. So we have to make sure that we can all get in the same room and start to work on this and put these committees together. I think that's one of the first things that you really got to drill down and get right. The other thing now, it's not all about money. As some of our, you'll hear us say, it's not all about money. We've got to allow our school districts the innovation, digital learning. Let's let them use their natural born abilities to expand down at their districts and find different ways to teach our children. You know, we talk about these kids are still, not many of them walk around without that, you know, that little phone that we call. Let's use that technology to be innovative and move that forward. So those are the things that I think that I would tackle. So it's not all, I'm not going to say it's not all about money. We just got to make sure we get the QBE modernized, and then let's be innovative and find ways to make sure that our children are getting what they deserve.
Matt Schultz.
Well, first, I think we have to be honest about what the state school superintendent can't do. You know, when you think about per pupil spend and how much we spent on the whole state, I think in some ways it almost is irrelevant, because when you look at how performance is measured in the state of Georgia, it's at the county level. And so I think what we have to realize is we do not have a Georgia education problem. We have a problem with different counties throughout the state that is continually pulling the Georgia numbers down. So I think what we have to do is we have to look at the money that we're spending in these various counties and ask, why are these counties not successful? And then at the state level, we have to say, how can we change what we're doing to try to improve those areas? Because what I'll tell you, we have different counties who spend, you know, $8,300 per student, who are doing very well. We just need to leave those folks alone and let them continue doing what they're doing. We have certain systems who are spending $14,000 per student and getting no performance. So I think what we have to do first and foremost is we have to acknowledge what the state school superintendent can't do, and really what we need is less legislative intervention, and in some ways the Department of Education needs to stop doing things and let counties go back and manage their own situations more effectively.
Kira Willis.
Gosh, everyone has had such wonderful first things.
You get to go first next time.
I know, well, I know, that kind of makes me nervous. But everyone has such wonderful first things that they would do. I think the one thing that is most important is that we instill trust back into our schools and our teachers and our parents. We have shut, schools have shut the parents out, and the parents have shut the schools out, and now there's this big wall where no one is really trusting anyone else. And again, the fingers are being pointed, and it's this person's fault and it's that person's fault. But you know whose fault it isn't? It isn't the kid's fault. It's not our children's fault. And my question is, before we do anything, the first question that we need to ask is this what's best for our children? Is this what's best for Georgia's children? And if it's not, if it's what's best for somebody else and not what's best for our kids, then we need to stop it right there. And I don't think that people don't want what's best for our kids.
Thank you, guys.